Hey long walkers, I've walked out to the end of this deserted road. Check out where I am. That's a bridge over the Delaware River here. It's only like a 1 mile road, but it's deserted, but it's a great one to make a video. So here we go. So I'm currently in the shade, but that's about to change. There's not much shade on this road, unfortunately. I got about 20 minutes before I get back to my nice air-conditioned car. It's a hot and humid day in New Jersey. Kind of like scenes in The Long Walk when people were overheating and sweating. Except I can't call for a canteen, and I didn't bring any water. At least there's a nice breeze in my face. So, I'm on this perfectly flat and straight road. Check it out. It's abandoned. I mean, it goes to nowhere, and there's really nothing out here. I guess they just use it as a maintenance road to reach places to do maintenance out this way. All right, so when I was in Caribou, Maine, I was talking about the Synopses, and I'm so glad I've got a clipboard this time. It's one thing that plagued me on my road trip, and I should have gotten a clipboard, was the wind. It kept blowing my notes around and I couldn't read them. So, but this time I'm secure. So the Synopses. Yesterday I looked at about 40, 50 articles about the new movie for The Long Walk, and they all had a synopsis of the book, and some copied blindly from one source to another, and some modified it. But the thing they had in common was they all had mistakes, and the most common mistake was that the walkers get shot on the third warning. I mean, it sounds great, 3 strikes, you're out, but it's just not the truth. Anyway, so on my webpage, there'll be a link down below. I list a bunch of synopses. I don't think I'll be adding any more because there are literally hundreds of them out there. And guess what? They're all wrong. And that's because you have to oversimplify to make a synopsis. So, although in my Caribou video I did make a 100% accurate synopsis, so it is possible. But the thing is, nobody mentions the 2-minute timer. And that's crazy to me, because I knew about the 2-minute timer the first time I listened to the book on Audible. Anyway, let's get to these synopses. In a future America, the marathon is the ultimate sports competition. It's not the future or the near future. I would say it's 1978. And the reason I say that is when Parker yells at the waitress, "Hey, you, me, Friday night." I'm assuming he knows The Long Walk typically lasts 5 days. And that would mean in 1978, May 1st was on a Monday. So it works out. Plus, check the link below for Not the Future, because I don't want to get into all those details. We've got like hundreds of reasons. The book is really dated. So, I mean, if it was, I'll keep it brief, but if it was the near future, where are the cell phones? Where are the Apple Watches? Where are the self-driving electric car Teslas? Where are the drones? So on and so on and so on. I mean, people still using film cameras and flash bulbs. You know, the kind that self-destruct, single-use flash bulbs from the 60s, maybe even the 70s. On the first day of May, 100 teenage boys meet for a race known as the Long Walk. If you break the rules, you get 3 warnings Yeah, if you break the rules, you get 3 warnings. That's what it says. If you exceed your limit, what happens is absolutely terrifying. Not sure where I got that one from, but yeah, if you break a rule, you get a penalty warning, which is different from a courtesy warning. Courtesy warning just happens when your timer counts down and gets to one of those. Your 2-minute death timer counts down to 90, 60, or 30, and you get a first, second, or third warning. But a penalty warning would instantly drop it to one of those thresholds, including a ticket. If you had 3 warnings and you got a penalty warning for like going backwards, interfering with someone, I don't know what all the penalties are, but those are definitely 2 of them. Your death timer would instantly drop and you would instantly get a warning or your ticket. And they called it a race. There's no finish line. It's more of a marathon with no finish line. Well, the finish line is once there's one walker left standing, which is kind of weird, because if you, let's say at the end Stebbins had no warnings, right? And if you kind of timed it out, let's say when Garrity put his hand on his shoulder and he collapsed dead, did 2 minutes pass? Because there would need to be 2 minutes. Actually, he didn't interfere with Garrity, so he immediately got an interference warning. So if he didn't have any, he would immediately get his first warning, and then he'd have 90 seconds to live. So I feel like they shot him before he actually got his ticket. Like they just assumed he was dead and they shot him. I mean, come on, give the guy a chance. He can get up. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on. The place, an ultra-conservative America of the not-too-distant future. The event, the country's #1 sports contest, a grueling 450-mile marathon walk where a single misstep could be the last. The competitors, the cream of the nation's youth, 100 red-blooded American boys out to make it to the top, no matter who they trample on to get there. The price, a fortune in money, fame, and everything the heart desires for the one and only winner. But in a flawless society, there are no losers, because the new American government knows how to bury its failures. Wow, there's so much wrong with this excerpt. It sounds great though. Let's start from the beginning. Ultra-conservative America. No, we don't really, the book doesn't really give you, it could be ultra-conservative, but the book doesn't give you, let me switch. My right hand is starting to hurt holding this selfie stick. So ultra-conservative, the book doesn't say it. You can assume that. Not too distant future, we already covered that. 450-mile marathon. Now, also check in the links below. I've mapped out the entire route as accurately as I can, given the clues in the book. Check out Old Town in particular. That one was a toughie. Anyway, it's about 440 miles. So 450 is good, but the thing is, that's just this year. I'm sure there have been long walks where it ends much sooner. You might have more backstabby people that don't make friends, or lesser boys of fitness that get their ticket early. I mean, I'm sure walks have only gone 300 miles. So I think this one was the record though, 440 miles. But there's no that implies finish line. When you say 450-mile marathon, that implies a finish line. There's no finish line, so you can't specify how long it is, even if they are correct for the book. All right, the cream of the nation's youth. Well, I suppose you can get away with saying that because you do have to pass your physical test, your mental test, and your essay test in order to get into the lottery. But it's cream. There's like 40,000 boys that qualify. I think I might have that number wrong. I think it's 40,000 out of all the males age 13 to 18 that apply for the lottery. Only 40,000 typically of course this is an about number, pass the physical, mental, and essay test. But the cream of the crop, that would be like top 1%. And these are just boys picked at random. So not cream of the crop. No matter who they must trample on to get there, we certainly didn't see a lot of trampling on. I mean, Barkovich did trick Rank into getting a ticket, which for the record, I think is the right strategy. I mean, people should have used all kinds of tricks to get other people killed. You've got to eliminate your competition. You can act like you're their friend, to get their support, but then betray them when it counts. This is kill or be killed. So, man, I still can't even see my car. Woo, hot day. All right, let's go to another one. A terrifying vision of tomorrow in the great tradition of rollerball. Again, not the future. Rollerball? Did you guys ever see that movie, Rollerball? Well, there was the 90s version and the 70s version. It was started out as just a normal sport, and then it turned deadly. So maybe that's a good comparison. Every year, 100 of the finest youngsters from coast to coast join the marathon to keep the spirit of the new American government alive. But before the race was over, 99 of them would make the sacrifice of their lives. Let's see, finest youngsters, we covered that. They're not cream of the crop. I mean, they do eliminate the really out of shape or the really mentally unstable or the kids that can't write a good essay. I don't know why they include an essay. I guess they're looking for people like Abraham who put in a joke essay. Like the world would be better off without me kind of essay. Maybe those that are suicidal. Maybe the essays are analyzed to find the suicidal kids. I don't know. Spirit of the new American government. Well, certainly the government is different from our government. If you assume it's the near future, you would say, oh, it's the new American government. But it's an alternative reality, 1978. So it's just a different government. If we're talking Dark Tower, be like another level on the tower, I would say, is where this book occurs. Some say that like the Running Man is what the Long Walk evolved into. It's on the same level of the tower. But that's going beyond that's a whole other topic. I haven't actually read the Dark Tower series. I'm actually reading stuff like The Stand and Salem's Lot and stuff to prep for it. There are lists out there of what you should read first, and you could actually start in on like the first book after reading a few books, and then read a few more other books and read the second book, and then read a few more books and read the third book. Each of the books kind of prepares you for a different book. So anyway, sidetracked. This wind is still a problem. 100 young boys under 18 walk for as long as they can. The walk starts in Maine and usually ends somewhere around Maryland. The twist is that if they walk under 4 miles per hour and are warned 3 times or try to go into the crowd, they are shot on sight by patrolling soldiers. The last man alive wins the grand prize, which is whatever he wants for the rest of his life. Whenever they say that, they often forget to mention the money. You get your wish, like as if the government is some kind of genie. This is what I want for the rest of my life. I don't know if you get one wish or if you can keep coming up with new wishes. I don't quite know how that works, but anyway, they fail to mention the money. Young boys under 18, the age range is actually 13 to 18, so that's wrong. Usually ends somewhere around Maryland. Wow, Maryland. I guess that's south of Delaware, south of New Jersey, south of Connecticut, south of, where did they go after Maine? Massachusetts. The walk has never made it to Boston, Massachusetts, so I don't know where they get Maryland from. Last man alive, they're boys. Except for the 18-year-olds, they're men. So, all right, well, that's it for now. I try to keep these videos to under 10 minutes. So, anyway, thanks for joining me on my long walk, and I'll see you later.